So what, we stay home. So what, we're quarantined. We can still have fun. Just come and hang with me. We can still connect with our family, which is how it ought to be. Welcome. Hi, guys. We are live, and I'm bringing the onesie in the game. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to come on. We are streaming from Facebook as well as YouTube right now, and we're doing a live. So come hang and interact. We have, let's see, today, I'm rocking my onesie. By the way, next time, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be alternating from YouTube lives and Facebook lives. So what we'll do is we'll put the info down below and make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell, and that will notify you on YouTube. Those of you on Facebook, that will notify you. And likewise, those of you on YouTube, you can also go to Rachel's Road to Recovery on our public page on Facebook, and welcome. Hi, Stacy. What's up, Shayla? Well, hello, Lisa and Dodd, my Kelly, Lori, Julie. What's up? So, yeah, today we're rocking the onesie, the other onesie. This is a little bit of personal information out there. I am obsessed with sharks. So ever since I was a little girl, when I was 6 years old, I got an adult book, and I started reading about sharks. And ever since then, I've been fascinated. Welcome, Janine, Rebecca, Jamie, my Wendy. Hi, Vince and Mona, Kelly, and Samantha. What's up, guys? Shout outs to all of you. Oh, baby shark, right? So here we go. Rachel is a little bit obsessed with sharks. Just a little bit. Ever since I was a child, I want to tell you guys, Karen, you're here. Hi, sweetheart. I'm so excited. You know what? This was actually given to me. Rod's sister, Sarah, gave this to me for my birthday one time. And I'm just bringing some love and excitement and busting out the onesies. I have a unicorn onesie I wore the other day. This is my shark onesie. And here's something. So this is something I'll share with you guys. This is I've had this for many, many years. This is a shark jawbone that was found. We did not take that from the shark, by the way. And we were just sharing some little bits of information. So I have an idea that I would love to share with all of you, is that what we're going to start doing, and let me know how you think, we're calling this Bedside Recovery Stories, where we are going to feature you and your story, your recovery. If you're recovered from anything you're going through, even if you're still in it, share. We would love to have you. So coming up, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have some people who we know that are going to come on and share their experience, their story, because mental health is so important right now. We hear all these news readings of people turning to very destructive behaviors, very terminal bad behaviors. You know, there's suicides and things that are amping up in mental health. So we need to be there for each other, because no one should feel alone right now. With all the technology we have, this is the time to reach out. So I just want to give you guys some shout outs here to everyone. And, oh, thank you. Vince is here. Rod. So we are.
I love this thing.
Oh, I want a big shout out to my sweet. big shout out to, let's send, I want to just take a moment for Janine. She has been recovering from, we've been following her for a while, and she's been recovering from COVID. So a moment, I'm going to just give her a moment. I want us to send her blessings, prayers, and all our positive energy. If you guys will just take a moment with me, please. Healing, healing, healing to my beautiful Janine.
That was for you, Janine.
We love you so much.
Hello,
Lori
Duncan.
We love it. Hi, my sweet Lori.
So I was kind of fascinated by the first couple times going through this process and everything. I love,
I'll let Rod talk.
I love the connection. And I was just noticing people were just letting us know of their recovery stories. And it was fascinating to me of either it's a story of someone's going through recovery or else someone's on the other side of recovery. And yeah, so I've contacted some of our good friends, and they have some stories of their own that they want to share. So I'm looking forward to making that happen. So how was everybody out there?
Prayers from Lori. And Samantha, bless your heart. Excuse me. Well, I do like to have snack time and share with you guys sometimes. I'm having a little mini snack right now. Got my eggs rocking. I got my Marianne with me here.
Our Marianne mug.
My Marianne mug. Marianne is my unicorn mug. Anything that anyone has sent me all has a name, and I call it the name of that person.
She does do that too.
I have my Joanne little unicorn. I carry my Karen with me all the time. I rock my Lisa down here. There's a lot of love, and today I had a good. I'll
let you guys talk. I'll be right back.
And I wanted to share with you, I was able to, we're gradually bumping up the nutrition coming back from the infection and preventing, any refeeding possible habits. So having a really strong day and feeling so much better. And thank you, Tiffany. Bless your heart. There's a lot of young people who are turning to very unhealthy means of coping. So let's talk about how we're going to cope, how we're going to deal with things. And also, we love hearing from you. We actually read the comments, respond, and really, really do get to a lot of people throughout the day. So we want to make sure that mental health is very, very prominent right now on staying on top of it. Because right now it's so easy to let our health go in how we do things and not do us, because everybody's going through such awful conditions. We also need to remember, and this is a reminder to me, to self-care. We must self-care first. It's the most important thing. Not missing the meals, not taking care of ourselves, because if we're not good for, how can we want to help people? We got to help ourselves first. So we're going to start with number one, and that's focusing in a very positive self way by self-care and being kind to ourselves. So I wanted to tell this, this was very important. And Becca, thank you so much for this. Bless your heart. Through my journey, I've experienced, I've had a lot of people share such beautiful stories of inspiration. And Rod and I were talking, and we were saying, we have this wonderful group of people who would welcome this, and they would love to hear from other people. So we would love to showcase you. We have some people coming up in the next couple days who are going to be telling their story. It doesn't have to do necessarily with an eating disorder. It could be anything at all, what your challenges in life are going through. Let's inspire each other right now. and motivate each other, because I'm hearing a lot of things from people saying, I missed this. I didn't get to this meal today, or I went and did this for so and so. And the first thing that I'm reminding is that let's make sure we get in our self-care time, because it's very important. And there's a lot of blessed people out there who we need to, who are blessed people, I should say, who are working hard and long hours. And we really need to give a shout out to everyone who's working right now in what they're doing. And those of you who have struggled and who are financially, we understand completely. So the people to talk to who can definitely relate, really, we do. All of us can relate to this. We're all taking a hit, but you know what? We are all amazing together. So I just wanted to share that, and bless your heart. There are some of you out here who are saying that your loved ones have attempted, and those of you who are out there, if you are alone, we need to reach you. If you have thoughts, there are helplines out there. Please reach out. Please reach out, because nobody's going to know if you're hurting. So please, first step, just say something. Bless your heart, say something. Samantha, thank you for your post on your dad. Bless his heart. I will tell you, these things that are really hard on the mental health are really, really important, more now than ever, guys, because you've seen me struggle and come back. And I'm going to share something with you that I've not talked about before. And Vince, you see, there's always a time to self-care. It's never too late. We can start in this moment. I don't like, let me tell you, it's hard to eat with all this nausea. And thank you for people who are helping. I was able to get my Zofran injection. I have to take Zofran. I have an infection and it's causing a lot of nausea. Those injections never used to work before because I had no body mass. Well, I still have body mass that I've been able to maintain through the bouts of this infection. And now we're able to do the subcutaneous, well, it's more intramuscular shot because I have a body mass. And thank you, Lord, for retaining my mass through this history. I've taken a hit with the edema and the water retention and the infection, but I will just keep reaching out to you guys, because that's the most important thing. And I want to share something with you. And Vince, I heard what you're saying about the eating. Regardless of an appetite, my sweetheart, we must self-care. We must self-care. If you have to, broken record yourself in your head with my voice, anybody's voice, somebody you love, maybe your own. If you haven't learned to love yourself, start changing that narrative. That's helped me so much. I just wanted to tell you, this is a very a topic that I hold very close to my heart. I've had a lot of setbacks during recovery, a lot of psychological setbacks as well. A lot of mine stems from trauma and abuse. This is something we don't really like to talk about, but it's something that should be talked about. And with regards to that, this is something that I've heard from other people as well. I didn't know this at the time because it happens on a subconscious level. During this time, I had been trying to not look as female as possible. That's how mine started. Subconsciously, I did not want to look like a woman. I wanted to look ugly, and I'll explain why. It didn't happen on a conscious level at the time. I was hurting myself, carrying on the abusive behaviors, not realizing it, and noticed that I was not comfortable feeling like a female with all body parts, because that meant danger. That meant scary. That meant unsafe. So retreating to something ugly felt safer. And I wanted to share that because I had not known that that happens to people. And I was talking to yesterday, and just so you know, I keep everything private. Even if things are said to me and you don't want Rod to know or anybody to know, I don't say anything. I don't even tell Rod your messages, because that's how much I keep them close to my heart, because it's not my story to share. This is your story, and what you want to share is totally okay with me. So I'm going to take one quick bite. Rod, could you jump in 1 second?
I'm jumped.
Go ahead.
See how fast that was?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys doing for your own self-care out there? I'm wondering.
I'm sorry, Janine. Did I sound robotic? I apologize.
Robotic? What?
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
You sound robotic when you talk about this.
You know what? That's a beautiful point, Janine.
I'll be back.
You know what? I like you called me out on that, my dear. You're right, because I did sound robotic. You're absolutely right, I did. I think maybe because that was my way to comfortably share that. That's why I took that tone. Thank you for that point. Bless your heart. I'm being absolutely serious. I need to know these things. So I want you to point out if anything that I say comes across, because I need that critique. And God bless you for that. And let's see. Carrie, thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Carrie, a lot of people become overweight for the very same reasons. And that is a beautiful point that I'm so glad you brought up, because I found that to be the case as well. It's a very prominent thing that happens to those who you want that extra layer of distance to not have people in your body space. So I really appreciate that, because it happens on both ends. And Vince, you can attest to that, what you were saying, how you have gone through so much. We did a live with you the other day, and you shared your beautiful story. I tell you, it resonates with me daily, on a daily level. I tell you, I come here. It's so funny is you guys have helped me take over my head. It's becoming Rachel's head and not an Ed head, if that makes sense. I call it Ed head because Ed is the eating disorder it was the abuser telling me all these broken record of awful things about myself. You know, when they say no one can say things as, that no one can tell you such awful things that you can tell to yourself. It's so true. We don't need those reinforced. We need the positive, the logical positivity sounding off, because sometimes when I do is in my behaviors, I would rationalize it. Oh no, it's because it's because of this, or I'm doing this because of this. Some of you, as we know, alcohol is on the rise. People are drinking more, which is to each their own, absolutely. But there are people who are becoming very downtrodden from it too. So we turn to things to self-medicate, and then we rationalize why we're doing it. So what I look at is, let's say I wanted to have a sip of alcohol, let's say. Of course, I'm not going to. I'm in no condition to. But if I do, and this is not a judgment thing by any means. This is a self-check thing. Or if I want to eat, or it's something like, or well, eating is great for me. I'm saying, like, let's say I didn't want to eat in my case, or I wanted alcohol. I have to do a self-check. What am I doing it for? Am I doing it to self-medicate? Am I doing it to distract? Am I doing it? I have to analyze those things, if that makes sense. If that, you see what I'm saying? So I try to look at the reason why I'm doing it before I act on it. And that's not a pat on the back, because I've screwed up more than anybody, I'm sure. I am a big screw up with so many things. But that reinforcement, I am not making any qualms that I am not guilty of all these things. So I need to constantly remind myself of my intention, my sole reason for doing that. Shayla, thank you for bringing up. It does. Well, you know, that's the thing that I notice I do. Sometimes when I disassociate like that, it helps me, my brain, to get the thought out, because I haven't quite come to terms with some of the abuse. A lot of it, I would say 90% of it, I have. I'm still residual 10%, I would say, but that is due more to hospitals and treatment centers that I've had experiences of violations with. It does not happen to everyone, by no means. I'm not saying that. This is just my experience, what I've encountered. So I don't want you to think that I'm saying, no, don't go to the, absolutely. But I very much recommend, when you get help for something, please research where you're going and make sure that this is a place that will be comfortable and is achievable for you. Because during the day, and I know this might be silly, but I have to give myself goals that I can achieve. And I would love to just eat my way out of this and just keep eating, but that could be catastrophic, fatal. So and I have a tendency to just want to do it and get it over with, like, let's do this. I get impatient. For me, this has been a very difficult process because I lack patience with myself. And I want to ask you guys, can you guys relate to that? Do you guys lack patience with yourself? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put the link again in the post, so that way you guys can click on the link, okay? So, Kelly, I just want to give you a quick shout out. I want to give Kelly some love in here, because she always joins in, comments. She's a nurse. She's such a wealthy resource of information and positivity and love. I just have to give a shout out to that. Oh, go ahead, Rod. You were saying something?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get the link here. And Rod, where was the link on this thing again? Oh, invite. Here we go. We're still getting used to this program. I'm going to post the link right now into the feed. And just bear with me 1 second. We're still getting used to this program. So I've just posted the link out. And what we're going to do is, if you have, if anybody would like to show up on our next one, we will be doing a, Jasmine's here. That's my Jasmine here. Oh, Rod's like, Jasmine's here. If you would like to join us, you're more than welcome. And also, like I said, we will be showcasing other people's recovery stories for inspiration. I wanted to, my Jasmine, Jasmine, she's right there. Where are you, Jasmine? Where is my girl? There she is, my beauty. So if you can, the link is down below. Feel free to join us on this call. I'm going to take a quick bite here. I have to do my last bit. Got to finish that meal. Got my Marianne cup. Here's my girl. Here's my Kelly. There she is.
Oh,
Let's see if the
hi,
sound
sorry.
is going to work here. Can you hear me, babe?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you yet.
All right. Give me a minute.
I can't hear you. Okay, you'll be back. Well, Kelly's going to work on her sound. Oh, Brittany. Thank you, my sweetheart, Brittany. We are so, you know what, we're trying to create an environment to really, really get people to come here, feel comfortable sharing anything they want. There's not going to be any bullying. No, what was that?
Add the link one more time.
Add the link again? Okay, I'll add it one more time. I'm adding, Rod's asking me to add the link one more time so that way. Janelle, thank you, sweet Janelle. Blessings out to you. With fibromyalgia, I will tell you, oh my gosh, I've heard the stories of fibromyalgia, my sweet. And I know, Kelly, you can talk about that right there. Can you hear me, Cal?
I can, yep.
I can't hear you yet. Let me see if the volume here is up. Yeah, we're up. I still can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
Okay, I was going to say, it's working on my end, so.
For some reason, it seems like there might be a delay in the timing of it. So, how are you, my sweetheart?
I'm good.
Give me those cheeks. I need those cheeks. I need them. I need those cheeks. Oh, my dimples. Tell them what you have, the dimples, what it's called.
I have double dimples on each side. So I've got the ones that you can see really well, and then I've got ones that are right up above them.
My little Shirley Temple. Her and I chat all day long. We have so many fun conversations. Kelly, could you do me a favor and tell me a little bit about yourself and introduce you to everyone? Because a lot of us already know you because, you know, Rachel is raising her hand as your #1 fan right here. Yes, I am. I am Kelly's #1 fan, and I'm proud to say it. This girl is my jam. This is my Kelly. She's my nurse. She's from Massachusetts. Kelly, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. I think if my friend Mary's watching, right now. And
welcome.
I just want to say hi really quick if she is, because I haven't talked to her in a long time. And she actually was one of my mentors. So this is big. So yeah, God love her.
Mary, were you talking about before?
She put up with me. I said something about her a little earlier. I just mentioned her in the comments.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I remember.
Yes. So my name's Kelly. I'm 38. I'm a pediatric nurse, and I have I have fibromyalgia. So I wanted to shout out to Janelle because
that's what I was going to say. Thank you, my love.
Because Janelle I know exactly what that is like, and good God love you, because it is hard every minute of every day. I also have been through a number of eating disorders. I had what's known as atypical anorexia when I was young, when I was between the ages of about 10 and 13. And I also had bulimia as a teenager. And most recently, the last 10 or 15 years, I've had binge eating disorder. So yeah, so I'm dealing with all of those issues from that. And then the fibromyalgia is fairly new.
Describe what fibromyalgia is like to experience? Because it's a term you hear a lot. And I think it would be amazing to define what is fibromyalgia.
So I know that it's different for every person. It's the biggest thing about it is that it's a disease of exclusion. So it's very difficult to diagnose. It can take an extremely long time to diagnose. And it also is very difficult to treat because no two people have it the same. I think that they refer to them as snowflake diseases, because no two people have exactly the same symptoms or the same, symptoms, I guess is really the best way to say it. As far as we can tell, it's a disease of the nerves, which causes a whole host of problems, from people having horrible migraines, is one of the big things. But overall, it causes a pain sensation throughout your body. And in people feel it in different ways. I have something that's known as allodynia, which is a very, it's somewhat common, but it's a different sensation of pain than people who have migraines or people who experience the muscle pain, which I also have a lot of muscle and joint pain. It's hard to describe because it's a very, very loose term for a lot of nerve type symptoms throughout the body.
Is it now when you experience it, is it, I know it's like you said, it's different for everyone. Is it a very sharp pain or is it an ache that you experience?
Mine personally, I have what's called paresthesia, which is a lot of people will know as the pins and needles feeling that you get when you're
yes.
So I have that in my legs. And normally when I wake up for about a half an hour, I can't actually stand up because it's pins and needles, but it's pins and needles to like the 100th degree. It's incredibly painful, and that does kind of shoot up your legs, or wherever you have it. People have it in different places. I also have what's known as allodynia, which is a little harder to describe, but basically it's when the nerves are hyperactive in areas, and stimuli that would never normally cause pain, like a gentle touch, sometimes even the wind, the atmospheric pressure can cause an absolutely intense amount of pain in different areas of your body. So for me, it tends to be in my arms, my lower arms.
Is that where it resonates in?
That's where most of mine is, but it also goes up into my scalp. So I think we've talked about some of the weird positions that I have to find to sleep in because I can't lay on my side. I can't lay on my back. I can't have any part of my scalp touching a pillow. So yeah, so that's another one of them that's rough.
Oh my. And can you see the comments, Kel?
I can see the ones that pop up. I can see those ones.
That's what I'm asking. Becca gave a really good definition of the fibers, myalgia, group of muscles. That's a beautiful thing. And you have a suggestion here. Have you taken B12 for those things? Does that help?
Yeah. So I'm on a. It's so hard to explain, but I'm on a lot of a big vitamin regimen because I've also had a gastric bypass. So I take all of those medications regularly anyway. Unfortunately for me, none of those have worked just yet to cover the pain. So I do take a pain medication that's supposed to help with pain. And then another one that, or actually was recommended to me, was CBD oil, which I haven't quite gotten around to that just yet.
I was going to say something. You know what? I want to share with you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting links to things that have helped me. And I'm not like pumping product or anything, but I just know like this is the one I use. And this one has, it helps with, some people react differently to CBD. I've noticed that a lot. Some people get tired when they use it. And some people can interact with other things. Like if you have other medications and things like that. I am not a doctor. So I don't, of course that's my, I want to say that, but it has helped a lot of people with insomnia, with pain, especially, this is the one thing I noticed it helps with. I didn't notice any pain or sleep change at all for me. But what I did notice was inflammation. It helped me, and I've read a lot that it helps with inflammation. So with all the COVID and my poor Janine and Samantha, there's so many people who are experiencing this. It's so important. What they're saying is to keep things anti-inflammatory. And please chime in if you know any differently, but I've been hearing, do not take any. I call them NSAIDs, non-steroidal and anti-inflammatories like Advil, ibuprofen, things with that in it, anything like that. See, for me, if I take an NSAID, this is when I have had to take medication for pain. I had to take an acetaminophen based because NSAIDs rip my stomach into a bleeding ulcer just from the onset. So I thought I was, I'm like, well, I'm allergic to it. But for me, it tears my stomach open. Even I just from taking a couple Advil, my stomach ripped open and I had to go to the hospital for an ulcer, and it was because it was bleeding. And right now they're suggesting anti-inflammatories that those can cause problems. Have you heard that as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, they're saying right now, especially for anyone who's immunocompromised, anyone over the age of 65, to avoid those as much as possible. I have the same problem, or very similar problem to you, for a different reason, but because I had gastric surgery, I'm not allowed to take those.
Yeah.
And I have problems with my liver, so acetaminophen is also not a great idea for me, which I don't really have it. There's nothing else really left over the counter that's not ballistic.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You really have just two choices, isn't there, between the two? It's like acetaminophen or NSAID based, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Typically as a nurse. And Lisa, this is my Lisa, my Wonder Woman here. Lisa, she wants you to request her as a friend because, you know, and it's so true because we need you. We need people like you. We need all you guys because there's a very important component here. This isn't, like I've said, this isn't about my journey. I know it's called Rachel's Road to Recovery. This is not about Rachel. This is about everybody's journey. So that's why I feel I don't want that to be this about, this is about all of us getting better. And you have no idea all these little things you do daily, Cal. People are telling me, oh my gosh, thank you for Kelly. Thank you for Kelly. I mean, it's just amazing. And Kelly, I'm going to bring Amy on. You know Amy. She has been here with me for a while. I'm going to add Amy to the call and see if we can hear her. I might have to mute your mic. Hi, Amy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Kelly,
how are you?
Yes. Yep. We're good.
Hi, Amy. How are you, my sweetheart? I finally get you. Oh,
I know. It's nice to
face. Do you know how?
Watch out! Watch your cheeks.
I know.
Yeah,
I love her. I love whenever I see Amy's picture too. I just want to go, oh, I love that face. I just want to kiss it. You guys have no idea what you all will do for me. Not what I do for you, my people. What you guys do for me. And you and Kelly have talked before, haven't you?
I'm so blessed to have met you through the platform, and it's helped me a lot through your journey. Just to see how you're very inspirational, and I'm just like, oh my God, if Rachel can do it, I can do it. Because, I have low self-esteem, and like Kelly, I had a gastric bypass done. Yeah, it's a duodenal switch.
What is that?
They cut part of your intestines out.
The duodenum, right? Is that what it is? Okay, that's what I thought.
So I used to be 212 pounds at my 4'11" frame. 4'11", so I was pretty heavy.
Don't even say that. You are lovely as you are. Your heart shows. That's all that matters. You're beautiful at any weight, my love.
Thank you.
And, I was going to say it doesn't show. You can't see
I
it.
feel really puffy today. I don't know why, but yeah. So like Kelly, I have to take certain vitamins, and I been lacking on taking them because I don't remember sometimes. It's been a busy day and I forget. So recently, well, actually last year in June, I discovered that my ankle started hurting, and I thought I twisted it, but I didn't remember falling or anything. And then my back started hurting, and I did all the CT scans, the MRI scans, the chest X-ray. Everything came out fine, but they noticed I had fractured ribs. And they said that's really uncommon unless someone hit me or had a accident. And I'm like, no one had an accident. So they did a test, the vitamin D level test, which is very crucial for people, I guess, that have the surgery. Well, a normal person, the lowest it can go to is a 30. Well, the doctor told me that I was at a single digit out of 6. Yeah. So that is why I wasn't healing.
Yeah. I have the same problem, but it's familial, but the same thing. I'm in the single digits all the time, and I'm constantly on very high vitamin D
levels.
supplements. Yeah.
And what was yours attributed to, Amy? Did they find out why it happened?
Well, I guess, my surgery, I don't absorb a lot of fat. So I have to, but I can eat sugar and I can't lose weight. But if I eat cheese and all the fatty stuff, I lose weight. Yeah. So
really?
I know it's the weirdest thing. But then I have to be mindful of taking the vitamins that are prescribed. Otherwise, people who have the surgery can have issues later on. And I knew that was my fault. I forget. But I'm still in the single digits. I have to take 150,000 units of vitamin D a week. Yeah. And then on top of that, I have to take 2 vitamin D. So it's like 10,000 units.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been weeks, and I got it rechecked again, and I'm still at a 6.3. So I jumped up 3 points.
Did you? Are you serious? 3 points? That's all that you jump?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that like a big amount.
No, it's not. And when you have a doctor that says, out of the 20 years I've been practicing, I've never seen a single digit this low. So it's very important for any of you on this platform, men, women, they should get their vitamin D level checked. Otherwise it can cause so many problems that I'm realizing that because I could have avoided all that pain and suffering I had to endure for literally 6 months until I saw a back doctor. So, yeah.
All of that happened as a or a low vitamin D, just a low vitamin D, and all these horrible symptoms manifested.
It's awful. I mean, now I think because I've taken the supplements for over a month now, that I think I'm finally like starting to heal, where when I'm walking now, I'm like, oh my God, my back doesn't hurt. I can actually walk down the stairs like a normal person because my ankle was hurting. So I think I'm in recovery mode, but I just want everybody to be aware on this platform that
how many people are checked. You know how many people are commenting on their vitamin D deficiency right now in the feed? It is crazy. I mean, so many people are commenting on. So I am. You know what? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for bringing these beautiful women here to enlighten us all, because this is some information that is important to everybody. And, like a lot of us, because we're not getting outside.
Yeah.
And my Carrie said something right here. Does sunshine impact you when you have a deficiency?
Unless you're out 24/7, I'm guessing, because
really
before all this, during all this that happened, we went to Hawaii for a week. So I was on the beach, I was outside getting a tan, but it wasn't helping because it's already down. The levels were already down.
Yeah, because like for me, when I've had, let's say my potassium has dropped to a level before that was unheard of, that they're like, how are you walking around? I think I got to like a 1. If potassium, if you get down to a 1, people don't survive 2s. And one of my experiences when I was coming back from Portugal, because I had to leave because of the, I had spent my time in Portugal trying to recover with the GoFundMe and ran out of funds and had to come back. But I stopped in Washington, D.C. with Deborah Schlesinger. I want to give a shout out to Mothers Against Eating Disorders. I stopped out in D.C. and when I walked out there were so many people holding up signs and pictures of loved ones that had passed. It was so devastating and haunting.
Yeah.
And all it was, not all it was things like an electrolyte drop of, as with bulimia, one of the things that happens is You can throw up 1,000,000 times or once. It only takes one time for those electrolytes to drop, and you're done. People don't survive that electrolyte drop. And so many of them, and I was looking at what I was asking, what happened to your loved one? So the father, they're holding his daughter. Oh my God. Grandparents, they're holding pictures of their past babies. I mean, so many people. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because they're with me, you know, like their stories. I still love you who hold them close to your heart, because I remember them, you know. And what they did was, when they told me what they passed from and their potassium levels, my mouth dropped open, and then I was like, that's when I first really understood survivor guilt. I was like, I felt so bad. How I wish I could have given them my life for what I took for granted, if that makes sense. And I wish I would.
Oh, that totally makes sense. It totally makes sense.
So
because when I was having problems walking down the stairs like a normal person, because I was limping all the way down, I didn't feel normal at all until I was like, oh my God, I think I'm getting better. I can actually go from one step to the other. So that was like, wow, you know, all because you're taking a supplement.
Right. Right. And
which
you're
is weird.
Yeah, all from a vitamin, right? You're like, how could that impact me, my body, so dramatically, going from bright and alive to all of a sudden, you know, disabled in a sense.
Yeah, because the chest CD or the chest scan showed, you know, because it lights up dots, I guess, in certain areas where you're fractured or whatever. I could see these little dots on both sides of my ribs. And so the doctor was like, well, are you sure you didn't fall? And I'm like, I'm sure. So that's when they decided that, oh, I'm going to check your vitamin D levels.
That this is a beautiful time, like, right, especially with all the things that are going on, getting our blood work, you know, maintained is very important to find out, where are we deficient? How can we get healthier? Getting the right vitamins and nutrients, because we were talking, it's so easy to not self-care right now, isn't it?
There's times where I was just like, oh, I don't care if I don't take a vitamin today.
Yeah, you're just,
and you've got to remember too that we're in a situation similar to when we, you know, because I had eating disorder as well, where we don't absorb the vitamins, even though we do take them. And so we're taking large amounts of them, and we don't absorb them. We're malnourished, essentially.
Right. Basically. Yeah.
That is a beautiful point, because you're talking about, because you're not absorbing this nutrition or these vitamins you're getting, which is why you need such a larger dose of it. Right. When we're malnourished or something is wrong with our body. Like, I could take, you know, I was on fentanyl, right? The patch, many, or it was I don't remember, was it year before last? Mm-hmm. And for me, I told them, I don't want anything that's going, I'm not a pill person. People who know me know that I don't do addictive substances. I don't do those things. I've never been addicted to medication psychologically. I'm not saying the body doesn't become dependent on it. That's not what that's a two different thing. But what happened was, like, I never got those feelings people get from fentanyl or oxycodone or all those other medications. Oxycontin, I didn't feel anything, and I don't want it. Just take it back. And when I got fentanyl, that one was really, really, I didn't think, I was like, well, I don't feel anything on it. Like, I wanted to take it off fast. I could not. It's like, when you're malnourished, the reason I bring that up, because you brought up such a beautiful point. You don't absorb, like, my medication. Like, if I take a pill and Rod takes a pill, he'll absorb it. I don't. You have to have the right balances in the body to even absorb that medication or that vitamin. That's why so many things are lost on all of us, because our bodies aren't in the condition to absorb it. And like, I love what you said. I mean, that is such a big thing. I didn't realize about vitamin D being so dramatic.
And calcium. Don't forget calcium, because that's good for your bones too.
Absolutely. And we definitely take those two together, right? The vitamin D and calcium are ones that complement each other, don't they?
Yeah, but my physician, I don't know if it's the same with you, Kelly, but told me that I need to take the vitamin D and the calcium like at least 2 to 3 hours apart. Otherwise, something happens and it doesn't work.
Oh, is that right? Is that right? I know there's calcium and one other thing that if you take them together, it nullifies each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that's the same thing. I'm thinking, but that, I mean, so if I take my vitamin D,
the vitamin D and the calcium, they just work most effectively if you take them a period of time apart. You can take them together. A lot of calcium supplements actually come with vitamin D and also vitamin K in them. So you can take them together. It's just that they're more effective, and especially where we have this uptake problem, it's better to take them a little time apart. More effective that way.
Thank you for that. I didn't know that. See, I learned some. You guys are like a wealth of resources. And like Shayla's even saying, she had to quit her job because it was so low. She became so dependent or so debilitated. Sorry, Shayla, I didn't mean to say that. So debilitated because of vitamin D.
And Shayla's right. I mean, when I went to work, I've been walking around and my back is just killing me. And I couldn't figure out, until I got the results of why. But she's right. It can be crippling because you don't feel good, don't feel normal.
Right.
It took a while for them to figure out why, but.
Yeah. And Lisa just made a good point too, that we're very hard to medicate because of that, because this medication does not take up. We aren't supposed to drink alcohol because you don't know what it's going to do to your body, and for us, it can uptake very quickly and fall down really quickly and cause a lot of problems. And we're very, very difficult to medicate. So finding a medication that's going to work for us is really, really hard, because most of us, I mean, we're taking it by mouth. I had a G-tube for a period of time. I was taking it by the G-tube. It doesn't matter. Our uptake is not normal, and it's not what it should be.
And another thing you guys should watch out for, which I had a problem with, from having the surgery, was my iron levels.
Yes. That's what I was just gonna say.
I actually had to get iron infusions because my iron was really, really low, and I was feeling tired, out of breath. Even walking from just one block, I would be out of breath. So I told my doctor, I said, something's wrong. I shouldn't be out of breath. So they found out my level of iron was down. So I had to get iron.
So important, the iron. A lot of us are prone to anemia. You guys know, Kelly, Amy, I've had blood transfusions more times than I would like to say. And it was other people who saved me from that, because our iron getting anemic can happen fairly fast. And it doesn't feel right. There are people who are commenting about their potassium, like Nicole. Have you, like, when my potassium, like for those of us who are coming out of their malnourishment and things like that, our electrolytes get funky, don't they?
Yes.
They get funky on you guys when we're recovering and things like that. And for me, potassium has always been one that gets down. For me, it's hard to maintain my potassium at times. So what I do is I keep my OJ. I take potassium. I have to take potassium daily as a medication amount. Or if what's so funny though, in an ironic way, so many of the same symptoms are from low potassium to being anemic, to being this, to being that. You're all nausea, muscle cramping, stiffness, all of that. And you're like, okay, I'm not sure which one it is this time. For me, I've become so attuned, and I want to know what you guys are like, what you two are like. I've become so attuned. Like I'll go, no, this is the potassium. This is the potassium. I'm seeing the spots right here. This is potassium. I got to go do my potassium. I'll tell Rod, I'm seeing the dark blips. For me, I see these dark, like on a movie cinema, those, what do they call those cigar burns that you
Oh
see
yeah.
in the movie? Like that becomes like a dark black purple spot I'll see in a corner. Or when I can like but it's so weird to be able to differentiate. It's hard to figure out sometimes. Is this vitamin? Is this electrolyte? Is this, you know what I'm saying? And go through the list. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. But to let you know what the backstory is about me getting the surgery was,
Yeah, please. I'm so sorry.
yeah. So I'm almost 50, believe it or not. Um,
God, no, you're not.
I am, I swear.
Really?
Yes.
Kelly, no. I'm gonna say no on that one, but go ahead, Amy.
So when I was really little, probably like 6, 7 years old, I was abused by my stepfather. I would get hit daily, called all kinds of names, saying I wasn't worth it. If I did something bad, I had to write lines, which says like if my room's messy, I would have to write, I must clean my room 300 times. Or yeah, write that phrase. Yeah, sentences. So one day I was afraid that I was going to get it because I wasn't, done with it. And yeah, I ended up getting beat. So I think a lot of this was my self-esteem because I did gain weight, after having my babies. So I was fat. To me, I was fat. So, and I was called ugly and whatnot. So I made the decision to have the surgery because of it. Because I didn't want to feel ugly. I didn't want to, with all the negativity and the abuse that I got, that associated with my anxiety and depression and PTSD. I think the therapist said it all relates. It will come back in full vengeance at some point when you're an adult. And so, yeah, there's times where I still feel.
That's beautiful. You said that. Please continue.
Yeah. So with that, I still get anxiety attacks. I still get panic attacks, but a lot of times people don't understand. They just think I'm crazy, which I'm not.
No, you're not, Amy. Not at all.
So yeah, like with the staying in shelter place is really put me down sometimes because I don't interact with a lot of people. If I do have calls via Zoom with other people at my work, I just feel like I don't belong when I speak to them. And I know I'm not liked by everyone, no matter how nice I am. And that to me, it bothers me. So sometimes I do self-medicate with like alcohol because I just don't want to feel the pain anymore.
Absolutely. I totally understand. Amy, on how I did, I'm self-medicated. I over-exercised. That was my way to do it. No, that's an addiction too. And I'm saying that, so I should reframe. I've been addicted to non-substance. So I want to rephrase what I said earlier. So to complement what you're saying, we turn to ways to self-medicate because the pain is too much. And you don't know, you can't, I think what is hard to understand is, or not hard, I would think it's understandable. You can't escape your body or your brain. You're stuck in here. We're stuck in the story that's being told. We're stuck in those touches that we didn't like, those smacks that were inappropriate, those words, those put downs. And how do we get out of it? How do you break that chain? It really, we have to find, like, for me, people just say just eat. Well, if that would fix it, it would have happened. This is from psychological. I have to look at root cause. If we don't look at root cause, we cannot address. And I was so ashamed and felt so dirty. It was just something I couldn't even though it was always in my head, I could never get those images out of my head, the flashbacks. I would tell Rod, if he put his arm here, I would go, red, 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 stop, stop, or something like this. I could not take it for a while. And when I went to go get help for it, the therapist said, for me, use a stop sign in your head and say, please stop. stop, or say red light means stop. I couldn't even get the words out. All I knew is I can't tell you why, but just don't do it at the time. Now it's fine, but it took me many, many years just recently just to overcome that part of being touched a certain place or something like that, because the body remembers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my therapist said at one point is something triggers me, whether it's my mother because she watched it happen and didn't do anything to stop it.
Oh, perfect point. Sorry.
So when you're little, you're constantly absorbing information in your brain, whether you're 6 or 7 or smaller. And so a couple of years back, I think my mom triggered something because she was not really kind to me and just left me out.
Not nurturing, or very cold, right?
Yeah, so it was just really bad. So there's times where I just don't feel like I can trust anyone. So I don't tell a lot of people that, oh, I have an anxiety or a panic disorder, because they don't understand.
No.
And they'll just say, oh, you're crazy, snap out of it.
Yeah.
I can't.
No, it's
But
not.
that's just my little backstory.
Yeah, you can't snap out of something like that. It's not about snapping out of it. It's like telling a person who's going, who has cancer, take a Tylenol, you'll be fine. That's not going to happen. It's not that easy. We didn't get there overnight. This is years and years and years of getting it beat into our head, the programming, and then that becomes our voice, and it triggers a lot. And then certain things start triggering other behavior. And then the next thing you know, there's other conditions you've gone down the path of. Like me, it was overexercising, or this or that or this, OCD, ADHD. All of a sudden, all these things, you're like, ah. So at what point we have to really take that beat, because trust for us is so critical to the recovery process. So critical. For me, I've had my a therapist tell everybody my info, and I haven't seen one since, because that crossed the line.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's your story to share. It's like a gift you're giving someone, because it's not easy to do that. And it's like, this is a part of me I don't want, easy. This is my girl right here that can't take anymore. This is my little girl that has not been nurtured her whole life, is entirely on her own, and we're still trying to fix it. Those words of encouragement, that's why we need to reinforce the positivity. And also, I love being called out. I like being hit square in the eye. Rachel, you're still doing this. Okay, I gotcha. Help talk. Okay, this is what's going on. Like, I'll tell Rod. Sometimes I'll even just say it out loud to myself. Rachel, you're being emotional right now because you're really feeling this way.
I do that.
Talking out, and I'm like, I hope no one walks in the room thinking I'm crazy right now, talking out loud to myself like that. I've had those moments, but they've also been the most revealing moments, of, oh, I'm noticing I'm doing this because of this underlying cause. So I start gutting it out, like, let's get this out of here. And I call it exercise the demon, like do my Ace Ventura. Woo! I'm sorry. It's like a little Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey bump right there. But, it's so important, because those abuses, they linger. And you brought up such a beautiful point. You can't hold it in. You think you
can't, because I did that for 2 or 3 years ago. I tried to commit suicide because something triggered me. And I didn't value myself. So I took a bunch of pills because I just didn't feel loved, appreciated. And it's hard for me. If I don't trust someone, I'm not going to open up, which is bad too, because I don't want to be labeled as crazy or anything like that. But I got past that. But for everybody on your platform, you're all beautiful people. And Rachel, that's why when I came across your page, I was like, oh my God, this woman is amazing. I need to follow her and get inspired because I have low self-esteem. I'm not happy all the time. I try to be for everybody, but
Oh, that thing froze.
to work until May. So it's kind of like, oh my God, this is just like, then it, it affects you.
Oh, Amy, the camera froze on your end for a second. I don't know if you can still hear me right now. But my gosh, my beautiful.
Hello?
I want you to know you are never alone. Kelly, you right? My Amy is not alone. We love you so much, Amy. I'm like, the thing is you have honored us with your presence. And I want you guys to know this is nothing about me. I want this to be all about all of us. This is a forum where we are just so grateful because I would be nothing without you because I wouldn't have been here. And I just want to no matter what you're going through, guys, I mean, I know we need to wrap it up. It's gone on for a bit, but I just want to thank you both so much for coming. And let's more than ever now, remember self-care is critical right now. Absolutely critical. If we don't take care of ourselves first, we are no good to each other. So if I want to be of any use to you guys, I have to take care of me. And that's not a bad selfish. That's a great selfish. We have to self-care. I love you both so much. Mm-hmm. Oh, Amy, your camera unfroze. Oh, God, you're back. I wanted to be able to give you kisses.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we'll wrap.
I have a catchy song for you. I'm sure you've never heard it yet, of course.
Amy, you were going to say one thing. Go ahead.
It was nice meeting you, Kelly.
You too.
I appreciate all your wisdom and experience, and hopefully we can, connect even off, Rachel's
absolutely
platform.
I'm happy to talk to anyone.
Me too.
Anytime. I love to talk.
I just want you two to know I get my dose of you two a day. I got to get my dose of my ladies here and my guys. Anybody, all of you out there. Thank you for Amy. I want to thank you both because people are saying how healing both you and Kelly are with your comments. So we're going to do another one of these and feature some great stories. And please, please, your input you're our family. Kelly, Amy, all of you. You guys are family to us, all of you out there. So we're going to keep it. We're keeping it in the family and to keep in everybody's, stuff where we can highlight you. And you guys are so inspirational. I want to just say, God bless both of you and just my humbleness of honoring us with both your presence. So we're going to wrap it up with Kelly. Ready? So what? We stay home. So what? We're quarantined. We'll still have fun.
I can hear the music.
With me. We can still connect with our family, which is how we ought to be. Kelly, sing one time. I want to hear your voice.
So what? We stay home. So what? We're quarantined. We can still have fun. I don't know any of the other words, so you're gonna have to
hang with me.
Yep, there you go.
Still connect with our family. And with
Rach and R.O.D.
I love you, my girl. I love you guys. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you soon.